Yep, that's fine. So this is example 3 in your packet. I just want you to be able to write a system of equations, and this one's very similar. A total of $1,520 a year is received in interest. So that means instead of you having to pay it because you're borrowing money, this is extra money that you are gaining because you're investing money. The interest rates for 3 investments are 5%, 7%, and 8%. So if I just keep that piece of information and don't go any further, a total of $1,520 a year is received from the interest of 3 investments. Those investments are 5%, 7%, and 8%. So again, X, Y, Z. I'm just going to cheat here and say money at 5%, at 7%, and at 8%. Generally, when you do a word problem, you read it through one time and then start chunking your information. So when I try and chunk the first 2 sentences together, you're earning interest, $1,520 a year at 3 rates. How could you write an equation from those first 2 sentences showing that you're earning interest in these 3 different accounts? Anna? I will say that you are so close, except that this is the interest that you're earning. And how would you earn interest? So it's not the amount I'm investing. So I'm not investing this amount. I'm earning that money from my investments. So each one of those values you just gave me need to be multiplied by the interest rate. So because this is interest, I need to multiply that by the interest rate. So X will be multiplied by 0.05, Y is multiplied by 0.07, Z is multiplied by 0.08. So that's not the amount of money that you're investing. They actually don't give us that. That's our interest that you're earning. So I'm earning interest by an interest rate. So that information needs to go in the same equation because it's all pertaining to the same type of information. The second piece, the 5% investment is half of the 7% investment. So stop there. 5% is half of the 7%. How can we write an equation to represent that part of the sentence? The 5% is half of the 7%. Darby, what do you think? So if you start with the first part of the equation. So the 5% is what variable? X. Okay, so we have X. I'll write it over here on the side. Is means equals, and then half of the 7%. Half of what? So then if I wrote it so that it was set equal to 0, X minus half of Y equals 0. So like if you're reading it just literally how it's written, 5% is X, half of 7%, half of Y. So read it exactly as it's written. Just replace the variable for the percentage. Peter.
Wait, why wouldn't it be half of X since the beginning of 5%, half of the?
So if I invest, so X is half of Y. So if I invest $500, my X should be half of that $500.
Oh, okay.
So my X is less than the amount I'm investing at Y. Does that make sense? If I invest $1,000, my X is half of that amount of it that I'm investing. So my X should be 500, my Y should be 1,000. The higher the interest rate, the more money you want to invest because you're earning more money then for that account. The last part says the 7% is 150 less than the 8%. So Joe, how could we write that? The 7% is 1,500 less than the 8%. Yeah, so again, literally, how is it written? So 8%, 1,500 less than it. So Joe, again, you said Y equals E minus 1,500. So again, 7% is means equals, and then 1,500 bucks less than the 8% investment. And then if I wrote that equation, I would have Y minus Z and then negative 1,500. Questions? So when you're trying to write that equation, like just replace the amount with its actual variable. The word is means equals, and then it's equal to whatever is on the other side of that word is or was, depending on what it would be. Questions?
Why would you have E minus 1,500? I thought it was Y minus 1,500. It says the 7% is less than that of the Z.
Right. So let's
I
say,
don't make it less.
so if you say Z is 2,000, your Y has to be 1,500 less than that. So the Y has to be smaller than the Z. If it was the other way around, then your Y is going to be more than the Z. Other questions? I know what you're thinking, Peter. Like I understand like how you're trying to think through that, but like if you write it as it's literally written in the equation from the words, I should say, write it literally from the words. Other questions? So your Y value, like if I look at this part here, my Y is supposed to be less than Z. So I should have a negative number over there if Y is smaller than Z. It is going to be negative. All right. So I have a short factoring quiz. I have 2 books that are open over there that after your factoring quiz, you can take a picture and start working on the problems. They're review problems. Some of them will have exact solutions. Some of them will have no solutions. Some of them will have infinitely many solutions and you have to write the pattern. There is an answer key posted along with it. God bless you. And I have number 41, which is one of the problems. I have that worked out completely for you so you can see how to write those answers just in case you still need help with that part. And if you do have any questions,